Part 3, baby. These intros, man. The Linnell Chronicles, Part 3. Well, technically this be like Part 5. You know what? Who's counting? It's not me. It's the water. So I would like to touch on the last... Well, one is a broader thing from our Facebook, and the last post from her Instagram that I want to talk about today. Now, her Facebook, it's not as, it's formatted differently from Instagram. For Instagram, we can have instant access to all of our posts, scroll up and down. No, Facebook is more intimate feeling because you have to, continuously scroll up and down the page to find whatever you look for. You can't really just jump to a certain part of anything. You just gotta scroll. But I did scroll. You're welcome. And for really what I was saying, it's not a watered down version from her Instagram. It's just a less, post feel. Less post feel from her Instagram. She posts on her Facebook more like updates that she sees that's going on in the communities, in her community. What officials are saying. But in her Instagram, she posts stuff about herself, well, her standpoints and beliefs, and, stuff like that. Well, her Facebook is more like, laid back, but here's the info, here's the tweet. Like, if you can't get me on Instagram, you can't get me on Facebook. And she also has links on her Facebook to her Instagram, so, the correlation is there. Like, she wants you to go to her Instagram. So, yeah, just said all that to say that her Facebook is like her Instagram, just more laid back. I mean, she does have friends on there, so, that doesn't really mean anything, like, but, she does have friends, it's not really, she won't just accept your friend request, it's not like that, but it's more like here's informed, it's public, so you don't have to do any, hacking, it's all there, so she's open on Facebook than she is on Instagram, not as she is on Instagram, but you get what I mean. Sorry. Now, her last post on Instagram that I want to get to says basically, you will keep trying. It basically just says you will keep trying to see the good in people instead of seeing the red flags, and you'll just end up hurting the end. Now, that is a wake-up call. Like, I don't know why she read me that way. I didn't really ask to be seen like that. But she posted that, I think that was one of her recent posts, like hours ago. And I feel like we should be screaming this from the rooftops, especially people who value all their relationships. I just feel like that's really what you need to consider in each and every relationship. All the red flags. There's always a red flag. It's not orange, it's not pink, it's not green. There's always going to be something that you don't like in a person. I understand that. But red flags are red flags, and they're there for a reason. They're warning signs. They're not red herrings to lead you in a misdirection. They're directing you to the cause of why you should, reevaluate this relationship. And by her, posting that, it really just made me think. I really wanted to talk about this because there's so much to touch on, and there's so many relationships that go under each year, because there was no foundation. They swept the little red flags under the rug and used that as foundation, and then as time progressed, their foundation began to crumble, and that led to the relationship falling. Simple stuff. You see it all the time, movies and everything. A house divided against itself cannot stand. That was Abraham Lincoln. I shouldn't really be quoting him, but okay. But there's truth to that. When you start, ignoring certain things that you shouldn't ignore, and, putting in excuses when you really need to be evaluating and confronting, that's when all things just, blunder, because you didn't take the time for yourself to, look past the rose-tinted glasses you wear and really see this person who they are, You know, colors are everywhere and colors are true. Even if you're colorblind, green is still green. It's just not your perception of green. Red is still red, blue is still blue. So at the end of the day, it's up to you to see what you want to see. And if you choose not to see it, then that's on you. But in the end, you're the only one who's going to get hurt. And that's all, folks. You've heard enough from me today. Will I come back? Maybe. Most likely. Yes. LOL, it's like, no. I'm going to be back. But thank you for listening to this long chronicle.